Okay, so there's no question here, so I'm just gonna look at the solution, or just hover over this. So here on top, by hovering over here, the question is, how do you find the square root of 49? And it looks like this question is asking, how do you find the square root of 49? So before I do that, there's question number 2, and we're asked the square root of 49. So this is a kind of one of the square roots that should mostly be memorized. So this is not really a square root that you can kind of multiply out. Like if you had, like, let's say a bigger number like 1600, let's say you wanted to find the square root of 1600. Here you would look for things that 1600 is divisible not by, like 100, and then you would simplify it out. Here for 49, there isn't much that it's divisible by other than essentially 1, 7, and 49. So because we know it's divisible by 7, it would be 7 times 7. So 7 times 7 gives you 49. So this is a matter of just knowing your multiplication tables. And you know that the square root of 49 is 7. So let's go through what the junior tutor said. So the square root of a number n is the number which when multiplied by itself gives the number n. So yeah, so when we multiply 7 by itself, we get the square root 7. So this is for any number. So let's say we had 36. What is the square root of 36? So we know 6 times 6 is 36. So we put that under the bracket, and since we're multiplying 6 by itself, we know the answer is 6. And the solution goes on to say the square root of 49 can be calculated taking out factors of numbers as shown, and goes through an example or the process of how to get that. And the square root of 49 is plus or minus 7. So usually when you are using a square root in solutions, when you're solving, you would say that the solution is plus or minus 7. So if you had like some kind of function and you had to figure out the square root of 49 and it was one of the roots, then you'd say the roots is at plus and minus 7, so you'd have 2 roots. So here there's another example. So this example will show you what I mean when you think of what are things divisible by. So what is the number divisible by? So let's go through that one. So we'll erase all this. Okay. So we have the square root of 196. So we can see here that the junior tutor essentially divided by 2 twice, got to 49. We already figured out what the square root of 49 is 7, divided by 7, and ended up with the final answer over here. So here, if we look at this, we know that if we divided by 2, if we divide 196 by 2, we get 98 times 2. And then let's say, so 196 is equal to 98 times 2. And we can take this even further and divide 98 by 2 again. So the reason you divide by 2 is because we look at the last number and we know 6 is divisible by 2. That means this whole number can be divided by 2 with no remainders. So we know 98 divided by 2 is 49. So we'll have 49 times 2 times 2. So these two are equivalent to one another. And we'll go on because we know 49, as we solved above, is sorry, give me 1 second. Remove this out of the way. Alright. So we know 7 times 7 times 7 is 49, and then we have the times 2 times 2. So knowing this, we know that we can split this up into 2 square roots. So we have 7 squared and then square root of 2 squared. So we'll end up with 7 times 2, and this is a simplified form that we can use. So we know right away that this is 14. So because usually we memorize multiplication tables up to 12 times 12, So 196 might be a little more difficult to think what the square root of that is. This is a way to derive kind of what the square root of this, and we know it's 14. So 14 squared is 196. And once again, we add the plus or minus. Another example that the junior tutor goes through is the square root of 9. So this is also a pretty straightforward one. Okay, so we'll mark this solution as correct. So great job. Correct answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question.